And the Hitman has his hands full tonight against a man who is just oozing machismo. The excellence of execution, Bret Hart and Razor Ramon. This is going to be one heck of a fight here in Sacramento, California for the World Wrestling Federation Championship being held high by the referee Earl Hebner. And this is classic Bret Hart as he hands his visors to a young fan sitting in front who's going to get to watch this very closely as the bell rings. This title match is underway. Meanwhile, Razor just threw his toothpick at the fan that Bret gave his glasses to. And now Bret and Razor are getting this thing underway as they trade blows. And a hot start to this world title match. Razor is as tough as they come. And as Razor now has Bret in the corner right where he wants him. Razor Ramon looks like a champion, perhaps. If he can put the Hitman away, he will be your next World Wrestling Federation champion. But that is easier said than done when you step across the ring from the Hitman. There's a reason the Hitman is the excellence of execution. Very few and far between in terms of the in-ring skill of the Hitman, who goes to the back of the leg of Razor Ramon, taken out. Ramon. And now it's Bret. He's going to go to work on that left leg of Razor Ramon. Now Bret looking for a sharpshooter, and he's got it locked in. Center of the ring. Razor Ramon trying to crawl as quick as he can to prevent maximum damage. And now Razor Ramon, that large frame of his allowed him to make it to the bottom rope much swiftly. And Bret sweeps the leg from under Razor and looking to do more damage with an elbow drop to the side of the leg. Bret is softening that leg up for what is eventually going to be a sharpshooter that he will look to put on Razor Ramon to put him away to make sure he retains the World Wrestling Federation Championship as Hart continues to go to work and again kicking the back of the leg. Razor Ramon having trouble putting any kind of weight on that leg. Starting to show that Bret Hart's efforts to weaken that leg is starting to pay off for the Hitman as he drives the side of the knee right into the ring post. And Stu Hart watching this thing closely. Anyone who's able to survive the Hart Dungeon is worthy of being at the top of the World Wrestling Federation. Stu Hart as tough as they come. And anybody that's come through the Hart Dungeon has come out tougher than they were before they went through the Hart Dungeon. And the Hitman unloading. Oh, Razor looking to counter. And a knee to the midsection of the Hitman. Oh! Bret's midsection, the rib cage sliding right into the steel ring post. That is exactly what Razor Ramon needed. This is a big turning point for Ramon. All it takes is one slip up, though, for things to turn around, and that's what we've just witnessed here. As Ramon is now going to go to work on the right side of the Hitman. Working on the right rib cage there. And into the steel post. And Razor could be setting up to finish off Bret the Hitman Hart sooner rather than later. And the sooner that Razor can finish off Bret, the better it plays out in his favor. Bret is somebody who can go the distance. Boom! What an elbow drop to the lower back of the Hitman. That going after that right side. It seems Razor has found a way into Bret's weakness with a shot to the rib cage of the excellence of execution. And now it's Razor Ramon's turn to inflict the same pain to Bret's weakness that Bret did to the back of the knee of Razor. And now it's Razor Ramon who has been in full control of this matchup as Razor with a fall-away slam takes out Hart. Helen having a hard time watching this as Razor Ramon remains in control. Bret able to kick out at 2. And a stomp to the midsection of the Hitman. Razor Ramon has truly slowed this thing down. Bret Hart has had a hard time finding his pacing. Oh! Bret just ate that buckle hard, but able to get the shoulder up before the 3. Bret at 100 miles per hour went chest first into that top turnbuckle. Talk about not getting the wind knocked out of you. That's exactly what just happened. And continuing to do damage to the abdominal area of the Hitman is Razor Ramon with this abdominal stretch in the center of the ring on the excellence of execution. Bret Hart, referee Earl Hebner, watching this closely, keeping a close eye. He's keeping a close eye on the Hitman if he's going to give up, because we could be at the beginning of a new reign in the World Wrestling Federation, as Razor Ramon could be closing in on his first World Championship here in the WWF. And it could happen here at the Royal Rumble in Sacramento as Hart tries to fight out. There might still be life left in the excellence of execution, but Razor makes sure that doesn't happen and makes sure to keep that abdominal stretch as tightly applied as possible. But Hart once again tries to break free of the submission, able to counter. And now it's Hart who turns things around, but an arm drag from Ramon. I went for an elbow drop, but Hart able to roll out of the way just in the nick of time. And Ramon with a shoulder tackle, not going to win a strength. Not going to win a strength battle against Ramon. Bret, a one-of-a-kind technician inside the squared circle, but when it comes to strength, Razor Ramon out-muscles Bret Hart. So what it's going to come down to is Bret Hart's technical skills. Can they outweigh the power that Razor Ramon has, who is just oozing machismo as he continues to outpower the Hitman, who has shown no sign these last few minutes of any kind of new life. There is no sign of life in the Hitman as he continues to get pummeled. But perhaps there might be crossbody by the Hitman. Razor able to prevent the Hitman from getting a cover. Up and over, sunset flip. Over the cover. Wait, Bret. Cover. Maybe there is still life in the Hitman. He's out. He's down, but he is not out. Never count the excellence of execution out of this. As Razor Ramon has this clutch locked in. Sitting on the lower back of the Hitman, doing damage to the abdominal area that he's been working on since Bret went rib cage first into the steel ring post. Razor Ramon doing everything he can to weaken Bret to make sure he walks out tonight as the World Wrestling Federation, and now a bear hug to inflict even more pain on the Hitman. He's going to squeeze the life out of Bret Hart, who's going to slowly start to fade as that huge frame of Razor Ramon squeezes whatever life is left as Bret's arm has gone limp one more time. And we've got a new World Wrestling Federation champion, but no, not yet, as there is still life left in the Hitman. Bret doing by any means necessary. He just bit the head of Razor Ramon. And Bret, able to counter, sends Razor up and over to the outside onto the floor. Perhaps a sign of desperation from the Hitman, who's seemingly looking to fly with a suicide dive, taking out Razor on the outside on the floor. But how wise was that from the Hitman to exert that much energy by flying to the outside onto the floor to take out Ramon? Yet it was effective, but how much energy did that take out of the gas tank of the World Wrestling Federation champion? But it seems that Bret is on the attack. Perhaps Bret has found some adrenaline, some new adrenaline that's keeping him going. That's blocking the mind from feeling the pain that is in his rib cage. The injured rib cage that Razor Ramon has been working on throughout this match. What a stiff shot by the Hitman. As Bret going to work on Razor Ramon, Bret has found a way to regroup, found a way to take control. What a shot by the Hitman. With every hit to the face, Bret wastes no punches when it comes to him being inside the squared circle. Everything he does has a purpose, and those punches knocking Ramon off his feet. And an inverted atomic drop and a clothesline. Hooks the leg. Will it be enough? And Razor gets the shoulder up at 2. It's going to take a bit more than that to keep Razor down for the 3. And now Bret and a backbreaker. And that was connected with excellence. And clothesline. And Razor once again kicking out at 2. Bret looking for a running bulldog. And he nails Razor Ramon face first into the mat. Pulls the leg for the cover. But it wasn't enough. And again, Razor still kicking out at 2. Russian leg sweep. And the Russian leg sweep. It took a little bit of a toll on the Hitman, but yet it was effective on Razor Ramon, but not enough for the 3 count on Ramon. As this match still goes on. Bret was perhaps looking to attempt the sharpshooter, but Razor didn't waste any time making his way towards those ropes once he realized he was in deep trouble. Bret drags him back. And now all Bret needs to do is turn Razor on his stomach. And it will be all over for Razor. And the referee got pushed into the Hitman by Razor Ramon. Played a little bit dirty there. And Razor again back to the ribs of Bret as he continues to go to work on the Hitman. Razor Ramon breaking down Bret once again. Perhaps Bret's final parade in this World Championship match has ended, as Bret gets propped up at the top by the challenger. Oh, but a back elbow from Bret. Bret rolls back, and now it's Bret with a backdrop suplex, takes out Razor Ramon. And yet again, Bret finds a way to counter, finds a way to continue to fight. Oh, but gets caught by Razor, gets caught with a big boot. Just when you thought Bret was starting to rally again, Razor made sure that there was no type of momentum for the Hitman. Now Razor's calling his shot. It's going to be a sharp finish for the Hitman because a Razor's Edge is coming his way. Nobody gets out of the Razor's Edge. Nobody kicks out. And if he completes it, it's all over. But Bret fights out of it. Hitman slips over. Wait. Backslide. Oh, and gets the shoulder up at 2.5. A near fall. Bret almost had Razor Ramon off guard, catching him off guard. But it's Razor who's right back on the attack. How many more of these desperation moves from the Hitman? How much of this is on instinct? How much is Bret going to take before it's enough? Before there's no more left to fight? Bret with his hands all tied up. Razor Ramon out-muscling the Hitman. Things are not looking good for the World Wrestling Federation champion. And the beating that Bret Hart has taken from Razor Ramon, yet still finds a way to move, still finds a way to want to get back up to his feet, is absolutely incredible. This is just tough to watch at this point. We might be seeing the final moments of Bret the Hitman's reign as champion. Stu and Helen Hart, who are watching up front, looking anxiously watching this match. What is Bret Hart trying to do? Bret Hart with a counter. Pin combination. Great counter from the Hitman. There's a reason Bret is the excellence of execution. Look at this from the Hitman, who just turned things around into a sharpshooter. For the first time in this match, it's applied. And he's got it locked in. And it's all over. The Hitman retains the World Wrestling Federation Championship. And you heard it from Howard Finkel making the official call. Bret Hart is still your World Wrestling Federation champion. But let's not take anything away from Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon may have had the power, but the mind of the Hitman, the psychology of Bret the Hitman Hart, it was brain over brawn here tonight in Sacramento as Bret holds that World Wrestling Federation Championship high and proud as he leaves the Royal Rumble as still your World Wrestling Federation champion.